So it's close by. It's valid. Of course, that's.
Good evening, everyone. This meeting was called for Wednesday, December 15th, 2025 at 7:30 p.m. at Borough Hall located at 77 Summer Hill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey, pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-8B. The public may choose to attend this meeting electronically via Zoom. This meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and in the Home News Tribune. Melissa?
Roll call. Councilman Larry Kramer.
Here.
Councilwoman Dawn Schwartz. Here. Councilman Ed Seeley.
Here.
Councilman Andrew Zaborni.
Here.
Council President Nicholas Legakis.
Here.
Mayor Rich O'Brien.
Here. Okay, we'll begin tonight with the CFO report. Sean?
Thank you, Council President. Our CFO report is for the emergency and special emergency appropriations with a tax impact analysis as well as a revenue performance date. The purpose of this report is submitted to advise the mayor and council and the public of one, the estimated municipal tax rate impact, or known as tax points, associated with an emergency appropriation in the amount of $401,889.06 and a special emergency appropriation in the amount of $164,374.81, amortized over 5 years. And the borough's strong revenue performance, which provides important fiscal context for the consideration of these appropriations. All tax impact calculations are based upon the borough's net taxable valuation of $753,179,600 and an average residential assessment of $258,596.61. For the emergency appropriation for $401,889.06. That translates into 0.0534 tax points. That's approximately 5.3 cents per $100 of assessed valuation, taken together with the net taxable being $138.05 per year if fully funded through the tax levels. For the special emergency appropriation of $164,374.81, that translates into 0.0044 tax points per year. So the average residential impact would be $11.38 per year, for which this is funded over a 5-year amortization schedule. That 5-year amortization schedule will be a levy of $32,874.96 for the next 5 years. In terms of our revenue performance update, for our fees and permits, we realized $458,857.55 against our anticipation of $430,000. For our municipal court fines and fees, we realized $64,285.07 against our anticipation of $60,000. For the Spotswood URE LLC pilot revenue, also known as the Rockefeller, we realized a full $974,350.62 against anticipation of the same. For our EMS department, we've realized $324,361.17 against our $300,000 anticipated, of which we're expecting more receipts through the end of the year. For our cell tower release revenue, we've realized thus far $300,250.82 against our anticipation of $300,000. And our uniform construction fees blew us out the park this year with $266,552 realized against our $122,000 anticipation. These revenues results reflect continued economic activity, effective collections, and conservative budget forecasting, and they strengthen the borough's overall fiscal position as it addresses unforeseen obligations. Emergency and just giving an observation, an emergency and special appropriations are extraordinary fiscal tools permitted under state law for liabilities that could not be reasonably anticipated at the time of budget adoption. The special emergency amortization structure significantly mitigates annual tax impact, despite the cost over the whole 2 years. The borough's positive revenue performance helped offset fiscal pressures and supports long-term budget stability. And all tax impacts presented are estimated and will be realized only when incorporated into a future tax levy or repayment schedule. That concludes my report.
Thanks, Sean. I have a quick question with regards to the cell tower lease revenue. Is that based on the full year of having all of the communication companies using it?
Yes.
Okay, so we can expect basically that same amount each year?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, well, last year was an outlier. I believe it was over $400,000 collected. When we were preparing the budget for 2025, we were working off of what we could substantiate under the agreement, so that's why we anticipated 300,000. I do see in my revenue reports that there's possibly another 38,000 that's gonna get moved over to that revenue line.
okay, thank you. Any other council members have any questions?
I have a question.
Mostly.
Currently, what's the tax point?
Microphone,
Currently, what's the tax point?
thank you. You have a brand new mic, use it.
Does it work?
Yes,
Yeah, we can hear.
you just have to speak
You
it.
just have to lean forward and speak into
Then must not be that.
it.
Off the top of my head, I do not have any tax point of our current levy.
Thank you.
Just a comment on the suggestion, thank you for the report. So as budget season has opened up, this will all be calculated into that.
Yes.
And this will never go down because there'll be ultimate increases and shortfalls 4 years from now possibly could happen. So this is gonna be steady, correct?
Are you referencing the miscellaneous revenues?
Yeah,
So what we do is we analyze those revenues over a 3-year period to make our average our average anticipation. So depending on, some of these revenues are predicated by agreements, and those agreements are indicating that we're gonna have a decrease in revenues and we adjust our budget accordingly.
okay,
So specifically for the pilot agreement, that's predicated by a long-term tax exemption agreement. For the cell tower leases, those are all coming from lease agreements. And then for the EMS, I can only imagine with the rising cost of healthcare in the United States that is only going to increase. Unfortunately, while that revenue is increasing, that means that more people are making use of our services. We don't wish that, but happy that we have the services or the staff to provide those services.
so just food for thought on the cell tower, or those contracts could be renegotiated, raised later down the road and looked at.
That'll be something that the administration will definitely look into.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Engineers report.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, all. On behalf of the Borough Engineers Office, I submit tonight's report. There's no update on item number 1. For item number 2, the 2024 NJDOT roadway improvements, the contract has been awarded to Discover Construction. Contractor installed a new hydrant on South Street, and all remaining work will be completed in the spring. For the 2025 NJDOT roadway improvements, our office has started survey work for the project. Portions of the survey have been completed for this project and base mapping has commenced. For the 2026 NJDOT grant, we have received a grant in the amount of $403,444 for the project. For item number 5, the Manalapan Road pump station repairs, all new equipment has been installed and the project is complete. To provide a brief summary on the project, in June, the administration began the process of awarding a contract to pumping services through the cooperative pricing after it was determined that the existing pumps at the pump station were no longer repairable. During this procurement process, the pump station experienced a failure requiring immediate action to maintain operations. The borough engaged pumping services to provide emergency backup pumping equipment to keep the station operational while the pumps were ordered. Due to supply lead times, delivery of the pumps took several months. Throughout this interim period, pumping services maintained continuous operation of the station, replacing backup pumps as necessary when issues such as the suction hose collapse occurred. The replacement pumps and associated equipment were delivered in early November, and all repairs were completed successfully. The pump station was restored and returned to service on November 19th. And for item number 6, the Willard Clark Circle Crescent Avenue Drainage Survey. Survey of the area is currently being performed. When the survey is completed, we will prepare a concept plan and review with the administration to determine the project design.
Thank you, Ken. Any council members have any questions? Okay, thank you. Okay, Melissa, we have 2 ordinances for second reading tonight.
Thank you. Ordinance 2025-15. This will be a second reading, a public hearing, and adoption this evening. An ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Part 1 Administrative Legislation, Chapter 2 Administration of Government, Article 4 Mayor and Administrative Organization, Section 36 Cultural and Heritage Commission. Ordinance 2025-17. This will be a second reading, public hearing, and adoption for this evening. An ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 140 Nuisances, Section 140-11, regulating e-bikes and lithium-ion batteries.
Thank you. And we have resolutions under consent agenda this evening. Melissa?
Thank you. Resolution 2025-200, resolution authorizing an agreement between the Borough of Spotswood and Center State Engineering Associates Incorporated for professional engineering services in connection with a drainage typographic survey and conceptual remediation plan for Crescent Avenue, Willard Clark Circle. 2025-201, a resolution recognizing the promotion of Officer Bellingeri to the rank of Police Sergeant. 2025-202, a resolution accepting the resignation of Danielle Christensen, Records Clerk for the Spotswood Police Department, and recognizing her last day of employment as November 21st, 2025. 2025-203, approval of payment of bills. 2025-204, resolution authorizing the purchase of 2 Chevrolet Tahoes for the Spotswood Police Department from Genitelli Chevrolet LLC under contract number 21 Fleet 01485 in the amount of $139,930.45. 2025-205, resolution extending a conditional offer of employment to Thaddeus Polaski as full-time sanitation laborer for the Department of Public Works. 2025-206, authorizing payment number 4, final and release of retainage in the amount of $12,982.98 for the NJDOT Municipal Aid Program fiscal year 2023, Latau Drive, Walker Drive, and West End Avenue. 2025-207, resolution appointing fund commissioners for 2026. 2025-208, a resolution appointing Anna Pristula as the Human Resources Personnel Officer for the Borough of Spotswood and establishing compensation and benefits for said position. 2025-209, a resolution amending the employment agreement of Business Administrator Frederick Carr to authorize the sellback of 5 vacation days per year. 2025-210, resolution authorizing the hiring of a full-time police dispatcher for the Spotswood Department of Public Safety. 2025-211, resolution authorizing the issuance of conditional offers of employment for patrolman positions in the Spotswood Police Department. 2025-212, resolution authorizing the approval and execution of a settlement agreement, general release and waiver between the Borough of Spotswood, Edward Seeley, Dawn McDonald, and plaintiffs John Fedak, Nicholas Mayo, and Edward Shapley in connection with the matter entitled Fedak, Mayo, and Shapley versus Borough of Spotswood et al., docket number MIDL 3946-20. 2025-213, resolution authorizing the Borough of Spotswood to join the Bergen County Cooperative Purchasing System pursuant to NJAC 5:34-7.1. 2025-214, resolution authorizing a special emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-46 and NJSA 40A:4-53 for the payment of legal settlements and insurance deductible cost. 2025-215, a resolution to terminate all participation under the New Jersey State Health Benefits Program, SHBP, including prescription drug and/or dental plan coverage. 2025-216, authorization for Chapter 159, Number 2, special item of revenue in the municipal budget. 2025-217, resolution amending Resolution 2025-195, special emergency appropriation for legal settlement and deductible costs to provide an additional $50,000. Resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood, Resolution 2025-218, resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood to provide for the transfer of year 2025 budget appropriations. 2025-219, resolution authorizing a special emergency appropriation pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-53 for Police Department vacation buyback and retroactive pay. 2025-220, addendum to the payment of bills.
Thank you, Melissa. Take a motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The public comment portion of the Spotswood Borough Council meeting is to allow the public to bring to council's attention their concerns or comments. In accordance with NJSA 10-4-12A, as well as Spotswood Borough Ordinances 2-18 and 2-19, except upon consent of the council president, each person addressing the council in the case of a resolution shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes, and in the case of an ordinance shall limit their remarks to 5 minutes total for the meeting. No person shall direct any remark or question to any specific council member except by permission of the council president. Any council member through the council president may choose to answer a question, but they are not obligated to do so. All persons wishing to address the council shall do so from the podium or other locations specified by the council president. Each person addressing the council must identify themselves by name and address. If said person is representing a business or organization, they shall further state whether their comments are their personal view or those of the group they represent. So at this point, if anybody has any questions, anything regarding the resolutions or ordinances, please come on up to the podium.
Diane Charlesworth, 29 Old Stage Road. Excuse me, I have laryngitis. Before we play Bill List Bingo, I have some questions on resolution 2025-208. Establishing Anna as human resources personnel officer. And I'm wondering what her qualifications are.
You want me to take that one?
Sure.
Okay, good evening. Anna previously worked for years in a medical practice as the office manager. Amongst her duties there were employee personnel matters. She had 13 direct reports. She also managed a billing section, has a lot of knowledge about insurance, working for obviously a doctor's office. So those were the qualifications.
Okay,
Diane, I want to add also, under the last administration, the Human Resources Director was the business administrator.
correct.
And
It's not codified to have a separate person.
we just, at the same time, we saw that it wasn't a very good idea to do that as well.
Okay,
So, I
but
mean,
shouldn't we codify the position first in the municipal code?
I guess,
Come on.
I mean, listen,
Come on.
we don't want to hire a whole new person either, to take on that role.
I understand that. But the position is not codified in the municipal code. We already have one position, the finance manager, carried over from the last administration that isn't codified. That person is earning $70,000 a year. Now we're gonna give Anna a stipend of $8,000 and 2 additional weeks of vacation. Is this gonna make her a full-time or will she still be a part-time employee?
So Anna is a full-time employee. When Brandon Umba left the borough in June of 2024, the duties of human resource, people getting entered into pensions, people having life-changing events that require changes in their benefits coverage, their insurance. Those duties kind of fell by the wayside.
Okay,
Eileen, the previous administrative assistant to the mayor, was doing them, but they fell into neglect. So when we took office, we needed someone to do that. based on Anna's experience, we asked her to take it on. She's been doing it all year. And I hope if you spoke with any of her employees, they would tell you that she's been pretty diligent, cleaned up the backlog, and has done a good job getting people enrolled in pensions properly, getting their medical benefits registered properly, updating dependents and so forth. As far as the compensation, Brandon was getting $10,000 a year as a stipend in addition to his listed salary as RBA.
Okay,
So Anna volunteered to do it. She came to me and volunteered to do these duties all year for no compensation. So what we're doing here is recognizing the work she's done and giving her essentially $10,000 in compensation. She's a full-time employee now, and she will continue to be going forward.
and she gets how many weeks vacation now?
I think she gets 10 days.
All right, so now we're gonna give her 10 more days? So she's
Yeah,
gonna have 4 weeks vacation.
So her per diem is about $200 a day. So the additional 10 days equals about $2,000. So 8 plus 2 is 10. And that's the same stipend that Brandon was getting in the previous
I
administration.
guess my concern is that there's other people working on a stipend basis who've not seen any increase in their stipend in many, many years, and they're making half as much as she's going to be getting.
I don't
How
know
do you
which
justify
stipend, I don't know which stipend you're speaking of.
No?
No, I don't, but I
Would you like me to tell you?
Sure,
Okay, the planning board secretary,
okay,
she gets $4,000 a year,
okay.
and she's gotten the same amount for the last 10 years.
I wasn't aware of that. That's something we can take into account as we build 2026 budget.
Okay. Okay, let's go to bingo. I played on Facebook. Okay, page 1. Halfway down the page, Motorola Solutions, 30 new body cameras for the police. What happened to the old ones?
I can't speak. I can't speak to what happened to the old ones. These body camera replacements are funded through a grant. This is from the body worn camera grant that was in the amount of $50,950.
Okay,
So the police department is using their body worn camera grant. They also had a police card camera grant. And then the balance of this is also coming out of their law enforcement federal funds. So this is not costing our taxpayers any money. This is all coming from grants and law enforcement federal funds.
great.
And
Page
it's
2.
Diane, it's lose it or it's use it or lose it, so.
Oh, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know, she's like that, all good. Page number 2, State of New Jersey, state and local cybersecurity. Anybody want to tell me what that's about? Is it like the horses, closing the barn after the horses have already gotten out?
So this was a holdover from the Palmer administration. This was in relation to some program that they had undertaken. So we still had the bill, and last year I had asked the administration multiple times, what is this related to and how do I pay it? And the bill was still due, and just to get it off our table and make sure that it's paid, because obviously the services were rendered. It was some type of state and local cybersecurity training program.
Okay,
So that's what we're just making sure that the bill's paid.
okay. A little further down, middle of the page, City of New Brunswick, $2,400. Is that animal control? It doesn't say anything, so.
That's exactly what it is, animal
Okay.
control services.
Page 3. Rutgers State University, Advanced Duties of Clerk class. I'm assuming this is a class for Anthony?
Yes.
Okay. Along those lines, have we ever been repaid by the former acting municipal clerk for the classes that she took?
Have we received any payments yet?
We have not.
Okay, but have we sent her any notification saying,
Yes, we have.
okay? And what's the next step?
When was the last time we reached out?
Council President, I believe we sent several letters. Probably the last letter was probably back over the summer, I would think.
maybe July and August. We have not received any response.
Okay,
The next step would be if the council wants to pursue it, the administration wants to pursue it, we could file a claim in court to seek reimbursement.
okay. Down at the bottom of the page, Devil Arena night was the New Jersey Devils. And you didn't invite me?
There's still 3 tickets left if you wanna go.
I don't know, if it was a football game, we could talk, I don't know beans about hockey. So that's for a hockey game, correct?
Yes, that's the recreation program.
Okay,
Diane, as a Rangers fan, I refuse to allow that building.
well, if anything, I have to be a saver, so whatever. Lastly, resolution 2025-215. Does this mean that our employees aren't gonna have any health insurance?
No.
What, so can you explain what this means to me?
So, Fred, do you want to explain the situation with the medical benefits?
Listen, I was gonna let you try it.
You can do that a lot better than I can.
So, for the record, the employees have and will have medical benefits. I'll ask a question to the audience. How much does the state of New Jersey charge the Borough of Spotswood for a family medical plan? If anybody answers $60,000 a year, you were correct. Sean, not to talk about medical, but the single guy, fine dresser and a snappy all-around guy, 24 grand a year for a single person. That is unattainable. We have looked aggressively to see if we can get a better deal for the same benefits.
Okay,
We have found a better deal. And we're moving to that better deal. The benefits for our employees will not change. It's just the carrier.
okay,
So we now have Blue Cross Blue Shield under the state health benefits plan. We're gonna have now we're gonna have Horizon Blue Cross and Blue Shield under a health insurance plan, a self-insured. HIF.
okay.
Okay, so
And when does that go into effect?
it'll hopefully take effect. So council will, please pass the resolution this evening.
Okay,
I'll send it to the state health benefits plan. I'm required to provide them 60 days notice,
all right.
okay?
We're looking at March 1st, probably.
Assuming I get it there in 60 days and we pass it tonight.
Okay,
That's the point. There's a number of other resolutions we have to pass in a reorganization, adopting, going to the other plan, a whole lot of interaction with the employees, answering questions. New medical cards, all that stuff. But the benefit, your benefit as an employee will not change. You'll just have a different card.
okay. Just out of curiosity, and it might be something that we can't share with the public, how much money did we spend on classes for this service?
Again, I'm not, I'm thinking it was less than $5,000,
Okay,
maybe in the $3,000 range.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Kristen Price, 203 Willard Clark Circle. Asking a question about resolution 2025-200, the survey for Willard Clark Circle and Crescent Avenue and the drainage. One of the things that I'm always concerned about is that area borders on East Brunswick. So it says right in the resolution that it's entering from Miller Avenue, which is East Brunswick. So one of the conversations that we had in the past was that there seems to be some responsibility of East Brunswick residents along that border ditch. And numerous attempts had been made by the engineering office to contact East Brunswick, which were never answered. Nobody ever answered despite wonderful attempts. So just bringing this back up again to say that we're paying for this survey, which I really appreciate, thank you, living on Willard Clark Circle and not wanting flooding anymore. But where's the responsibility of East Brunswick? This is a shared area, and
and I feel like they need to have some responsibility in this. So I'm just asking if the council, mayor's office, to do our due diligence to try to contact East Brunswick again, to share in this. So that's where I'm at, and I was wondering if you have any feedback on that.
Kevin, was there any further discussions with East Brunswick?
No, there haven't, but what I can do is forward the previous conversation or start a new one and copy yourself and the mayor on it, and we can move forward from there.
Mayor, anything to add?
I agree with you, Chris. I think it's incumbent upon us now to reach out to Mr. Chris Colo's office and Mayor Cohen before he goes to Washington and see if we can get some assistance. So thank you for bringing it up.
We're a tiny little town, East Brunswick is bigger, but it seems to be a shared responsibility situation. What happens in that ditch affects both Spotswood and East Brunswick. And it seems like we're the only one doing anything about it. And I appreciate that, but they need to have a hand in it.
And I think it actually starts further upstream, no pun intended. It starts further up on the other side of the Knights of Columbus property, East Brunswick side,
Right.
where that catch basin that was promised never appeared. So I think we have an opportunity there to point that out with EB as well.
So we get the survey back, we have the recommendation of what we need to do to fix or remediate this problem, and they need to share in the cost of that. It's great that we're paying for the survey, they should be paying for some of it too, but because they're upstream, it doesn't affect them as much as it affects us, so they don't really care. So
Yeah, it's definitely on our radar, and
yeah.
thank you for pointing it out.
And the engineering office did their due diligence and tried to contact and never received anything back, which is unfathomable to me. So maybe the council and mayor's office can help him out now.
Okay, Kevin, can I help you?
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to listen. Holly Ronco, 118 Manalapan. Resolution 2025-212. I read the resolution and it says that there was a $50,000 settlement. Is that our portion of the settlement or is that the actual settlement?
Yeah, Colleen, that's the actual settlement.
The actual settlement. So we did, just because I want to talk through myself. So we spent 4 years on this for a settle for $50,000. Okay, thank you. Resolution 2025-214. So again, it says for payment of legal settlements and insurance deductible costs. So I'm assuming that 401 is the 355 plus the additional 50,000 for the emergency appropriation.
Correct.
Okay. With those settlements, I went online and looked. It looks like these are just the insurance payments that we owe to statewide, that those have not been actually settled.
No, the only settlements I think on that list were for the Corbacero payment of 85, the Mayo payment of 85.
But that's not to settle the lawsuit, that's what we owe them.
That was pursuant to a court order.
Okay,
All right. No, those cases have not been settled.
that's what I'm
Those
asking.
ca-
So that's just what we owed based on the settlements and what the court was ordered and what we owed in deductibles and things of that nature.
Well, those were the court orders from October of 2024, which we ultimately were able to reduce. In fact, those figures were higher, if you
Right,
recall.
I remember.
Yeah, and so we reduced it down to 85,000 for each of those defendants.
And I want to go back to what Diane mentioned as far as the animal control situation. What is our current monthly amount to animal control? I thought it was like $1,800 or something.
Hold on, I'm sorry right now. Monthly charge is $12.10. And then if there's any overtime that's accrued or specific hours that they have to work, then they charge us by the hour.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna harp on this because you know it. So basically, our amount for last month was double what our monthly rate is. So that means that everything before 9 o'clock in the morning and after 5 o'clock at night, they're charging us for, is that correct? And on weekends, to the tune of $80 an hour.
I think it's till 11 p.m.
Okay.
and anything after 11, any day during the week. And then anything that happens on Saturday and Sunday is charged at the overtime rate. It's not always that amount.
Oh, no,
And it
it's
varies
back
by
and forth
month.
based on, I understand that. So I'm gonna harp on this again, because I've been harping on it for 4 years and it wouldn't be me if I didn't harp on this, but. It's my understanding, and I had Oprah requested this during the last administration, that we have a 2-hour window where we don't call animal control. So if a dog gets picked up in town. It gets picked up by the police department, it comes back here, whatever officer picked it up, took a nice little picture of it, posted it online. That's all fine and well, I have no issue with that, I think it's fabulous the cops do that, I think it's fabulous that we have officers that are gonna put that much into animals. However, I have harped on this with Jackie, I'm gonna harp on this with you, Mayor, I'm gonna harp on this with whoever council is here now, whatever council is here next year. It is illegal for the police department to hold on to an animal. You have to be a licensed animal control officer in order to do that. If an animal bites somebody, an animal gets loose and it bites somebody else, the town is gonna be physically responsible for that situation. And it's not gonna be at $80 an hour. You know, if somebody gets bit, we're gonna wind up with $1 million lawsuit. God forbid it's a little kid that gets bit, or God forbid the dog has something and bites somebody. I don't want the job. But I think it's time that we have a full-time animal control officer in town to take care of this situation. For what we're paying for a little bit more, we could have somebody online, here full-time. Or even do it as a per diem thing where they're just being paid per call. But it's gotta be cheaper than what we're paying, and the liability is gonna be a whole lot less. Because one of these days, it's gonna happen, somebody's dog's gonna get loose, it's gonna get hit by a car, it's gonna bite a small kid, it's gonna be a dog, what are we doing? What if you go out to a call and these are again, not licensed animal control officers, and they go and they grab a dog, which we had happen when I was animal control out here on Main Street, and the dog didn't only bite one person, it bit 2 people. Before I even got there. So if I get bit, that's a job liability for me, I mean, oops, oh well, you get bit, I mean, it happens, you don't go into it expecting not to get bit. But if you have an officer that grabs a dog and it bites the officer, now you got a lawsuit. If it bites somebody else and gets loose, you have a lawsuit. I just don't see where we're going. I can't come in, I've said this before, I can't walk in and be, hey, Colin Rock was here, I wanna play cop for a day, give me a car, a badge, and a siren. You don't look at me like I was nuts. But that's what you're asking our officers to do. You're asking our officers to take the responsibility and the liability, and considering I have said it multiple times in public, God forbid somebody gets bitten, they're gonna go back, and a smart lawyer is gonna go back and look at these and it's gonna go, you know what? That woman said this on 17 different occasions over the last 4 years. We've got a multi-million-dollar lawsuit here.
Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you.
Sam, anybody online?
Make a motion to close the public portion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. This meeting was called for Monday, December 15th, 2025 at 7:30 PM at Borough Hall located at 77 Summerhill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey, pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-8B. The public may choose to attend this meeting electronically via Zoom. This meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and in the Home News Tribune. I ask everybody at this point to please stand up and salute the flag. After the salute, going to observe a moment of silence for Josephine Tramatullo, who passed away earlier, as well as acknowledging the senseless acts that were committed at Brown University and in Australia.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
Thank you.
Roll call, Councilman Larry Kramer,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dawn Schwartz. Here. Councilman Ed Seeley.
Here.
Councilman Andrew Zaborni.
Here.
Council President Nicholas Legakis.
Here.
Mayor Rich O'Brien.
Here. Okay, we have a set of minutes from the November 12th, 2025 caucus and regular meeting.
I'm gonna take a motion second, and this is gonna be followed by roll call.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as written for November 12th, 2025 for the caucus and regular meeting.
Second.
Calling of the roll, council members, Kramer,
I wasn't here.
you're abstaining?
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Zaborni.
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes. Okay, we have ordinance 2025-15, second reading, public hearing and adoption.
Okay, this is ordinance 2025-15, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending Part 1 Administrative Legislation, Chapter 2 Administration of Government, Article 4 Mayor and Administrative Organization, Section 36 Cultural and Heritage Commission. I will take a motion second. This will be followed by roll call to open to the public hearing.
Make a motion to open to public hearing for ordinance 2025-15.
Second.
Calling of the roll, council members, Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Zaborni.
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes. Anybody have any questions about ordinance 2025-15?
Making motion to close the public portion for a public hearing for ordinance 2025-15.
Second.
Calling of the roll, council members, Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Zaborni.
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes.
Okay, I'm now gonna take a motion second. This will be followed by roll call to adopt ordinance 2025-15.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2025-15, sorry.
Second.
Calling of the roll, council members, Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Zaborni.
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes. Okay, we have ordinance 2025-17, is that 17 or 16?
17. Sorry.
Second reading, public hearing and adoption.
Thank you. Ordinance 2025-17, an ordinance of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, amending chapter 140 nuisances, section 140-11, regulating e-bikes and lithium-ion batteries. I'm going to take a motion second, followed by roll call to open to the public hearing.
Make a motion to open to the public ordinance 2025-17 on second reading.
Seconded.
Calling of the roll, council members, Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Zaborni.
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes. Anybody have any questions about ordinance 2025-17?
Make a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2025-17.
Do you have a question?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Move faster.
Usually it's like one of those.
Once
You see everybody in.
Sorry
about that.
Right on time. Edward Smith, 395 All Stage Road. My only question on that e-bike thing is, do they have to follow the flow of traffic? You know? I mean, if they're riding an e-bike, right? We're not outlawing it, correct?
Right.
Okay, but I see them on the sidewalk. I see them running in the opposite direction of the flow of traffic. And then, are they are gonna be responsible for not doing those types of things?
I believe they do follow the flow of traffic.
They're supposed to. Right, that's what I'm saying, but they're supposed to.
Right.
Right, and
So this is going to give the police the power to regulate what they see going on.
okay, and how about on sidewalk?
It should not be on sidewalks as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Both sides, what you see. Someone else. Good evening, John Schwedzinski, 140 Brooklyn Avenue, Spotswood. I just have a follow-up question on the e-bikes. What about education of the public? This is a pretty complex requirement with different tiers of different, devices. People with segways may not realize that segways are not covered, or now they're covered, that sort of thing. What are we doing for enforcement, education of the public to make sure that we get the notice out to people to follow?
Sure, good point. Mayor, are we planning to put anything out with the information?
Before we adopted the ordinance, we looked at some other towns that had already got there ahead of us. And there's some literature I saw, it might have been in Woodbridge, where they break it down in a graphic. Kind of an easier way to understand it, John. So I think what we need to do is grab something like that and put it out to the public. Maybe we'll put it through schools too, because a lot of the folks I see driving e-bikes in town tend to be younger. So,
They're
yeah,
not old farts like me.
no, I don't look good in that helmet, no chance. So, yeah, it's a great idea. We'll push that out.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, if I could just so you know, East Brunswick Police Department was also holding a public seminar for just this type of thing. So to definitely have the police involved would be a good idea.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Okay, make a motion to close the public portion.
Seconded.
Calling of the roll, council members Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes?
Seely,
Yes.
Zaborni,
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes.
I'm now gonna take motion followed by a second and followed by roll call to adopt ordinance 2025-17.
Sorry.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2026-17. 25.
Sorry,
Excuse me.
yeah.
Second.
Calling of the roll, council members Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes?
Seely.
Yes.
Zaborni.
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes. Okay, resolutions under consent agenda.
Thank you. Would any member of the governing body like any of the resolutions pulled from your consent agenda before you vote on them all together? Okay, so these will be resolutions 2025-200 all the way to resolution 2025-220. I will take a motion second, and this will be followed by roll call.
Make a motion to accept resolutions under consent agenda 2025-200 all the way through to resolution 2025-220.
Seconded.
Calling of the roll, council members Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes?
Seely.
I have to abstain from 2025-12 and 2025-217. All others I approve.
Zaborni,
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we will have a public hearing on the renewal of Hometown Clearwater Village LLC mobile home park license for 2026.
I'll take a motion in second to open a public hearing.
Make a motion to open to the public?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I can talk, Council President. So as the council is aware, the license for Clearwater Village expires on December 31st of this year. They're before you this evening, seeking a renewal of that license for another year. What happened in 2025, just so the council is aware, members of the public are aware, the state legislature adopted a statute which limits the increases that the annual increases that can occur with respect to rents at mobile home park facilities to 3.5%. There's also a provision in the state statute that if a mobile park home operator owner determines that the 3.5% annual increase is not enough, they would have to petition the Department of Community Affairs to seek any increase over that 3.5%. So starting in October, we solicited comments from police department, from other borough agencies, including my office as well. And my understanding is that there have been no objections from any of those borough agencies. There's no objection from my office to renew this license. The only remaining matter is the execution of a rent control addendum or contract. And that will have to be subject to working out the details regarding some of the language that was contained in there in the draft. And that can occur after the council, I'm assuming, will approve this unless there's any objection from members of the public. But if the council does approve that, we will work on the details of that rent control addendum, and we'll make sure that whatever provisions are in the state statute are contained in that addendum as well. All right, so that would be conditioned upon ultimately the borough executing that addendum at a later date.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Okay. Make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will now adopt resolution 2025-221. It's a resolution awarding Hometown Clearwater Village LLC a mobile home park renewal license for the year 2026. I will take a motion second, and this will be followed by roll call.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-221.
Second.
Calling of the roll, council members Kramer,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Seely,
Yes.
Zaborni,
Yes.
Legakis.
Yes. Thank you. All right, at this time, I'll ask any of the council members if they have any comments, and we'll start with Councilwoman Schwartz.
Good evening, everybody. I apologize for not being present during the Christmas tree lighting this year. My family holds an annual party. Unfortunately, it is the same Saturday every year. Last year I traveled back from Pennsylvania. This year I decided to stay with my family, but the tree is beautiful. And from what I've heard, everybody did have a wonderful time. So thank you to everybody involved in that. Very quickly, a couple of announcements. The library is holding a holiday concert with Jay Daniels on Thursday, the 18th at 6 p.m. And on Saturday, the 20th at 1 o'clock, they will be doing a performance of the radio play It's a Wonderful Life. Registration is suggested for that event. The library will be closed on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. And this one's really exciting. So, the library will be offering 4 classes in January for tech support. So anybody who's getting a new device or has a device and wants to learn about all the different apps that the library has available, including Amazon apps, borrowing books online, and there's all kinds of things. They're holding 4 classes in January, 2 on Mondays and 2 on Wednesday. So please check that out. So it's a good way to check out books and have access to all the library's materials right on your phone, your iPad, your computer. Just know that they won't be able to help you with a broken device. So if your device is broken, they won't be able to help you. If your apps and your software is outdated, they won't be able to help you with that. But if you're looking to see all the different options, please check that out. Monday, January 5th, 2 to 4, Monday, January 12th, 5 to 7, Wednesday, January 7th, 10 to 12, and Wednesday, January 14th from 12 to 2. The Division of Senior Services tomorrow, I put a couple of these on the back table. Thank you, Anthony, for printing them out for me. Hackensack Meridian Health Mobile Services will be at the Senior Center from 2:15 to 4:15, doing a full health screening, blood pressure, glucose, visual screening, memory and cognitive, Cardiovascular. Although an appointment I don't believe is necessary, I would suggest you call the center in the morning to see how many people they do plan on having attend. But it is the mobile health. If you're interested, there are a couple of these flyers on the back table. And if not, you can have mine. The center will close at noon on Wednesday, the 24th and Wednesday, the 31st. There will not be any bingo on Friday, December 26th, and the center will be closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And the most exciting thing of all, next year, in 2026, the senior center will be celebrating its 30th anniversary. So there will be events all year long, theme days, and our official party will be in September, which is officially Senior Center Month. So more details to follow on that. And on January 14th at 1 o'clock, the Reformed Church will be here with a life-size board game. I have no idea, I have no more information on that, but keep your eye out for it on January 14th. I wish everybody a happy holiday, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. May it be safe and healthy and enjoyable for you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Graham.
I have nothing at this time. Just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Councilman Voight.
Good evening, everybody. It was good to see everybody, new faces, and really nice tree lighting event last week. It was nice to be a part of it and to stand by. It's also nice to see our retired superintendent light the tree this year. That was a really good surprise. And it's always good to see Mr. Peabody. And thank you to everybody who arranged and participated for a well done evening and event. Board of Ed meeting Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. over at the High School Media Center. Come on out. Also, the planning board meeting will be held here tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. just as well. I want to thank the engineers and everybody at your team and whatnot. Happy holidays to everybody. But thank you for all you do. And fantastic report and for all you do again. DPW, all's going well. Really, the streets look fantastic. They worked really hard over this weekend with the snow that came in. So I talked to Mr. O'Brien, Matt O'Brien this morning, and thanked him for the services everyone did. And the town looks great. Decorations are up. Holiday season is in full flow, and I thanked him for that just as well. Also, please remember there are people in need. I was at ShopRite the other day, and they had bags that are fully prepared for Alice's cup. I was able to buy one and donate just as well. I do that periodically personally. And I always promote our thrift great group, always supplying for many charities around our neighborhoods. Do what you can if you're able to. If not, that's perfectly fine, but they are available to assist just as well. Also, I just want to say on this Saturday, I'm looking forward to, I know more information will come out, but I understand Santa's going to be around, so I'll be participating and assisting. And I look forward to that traditional event that I help out with the fire department. So thank you, everybody that's involved in that as well. And on behalf of the entire Zaborni family, we wish you all a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Kwanzaa, and everything else that we celebrate, and really just reflect, and best wishes for 2026. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm proud to serve.
Thank you. Councilman Sealy.
Sure. I have your microphone on muted.
Yours isn't working.
It's muted. I can't unmute it. Can you hear me now? And under warranty? I hope so. Okay, we're gonna start with Spotswood Rec. We're gonna make this a little briefer than normal. Adult volleyball starts on Wednesdays, June 10th, which is later in the year, obviously, 7 to 9. Adult basketball, Thursdays, June 11th, that starts, 7 to 9. The menorah lighting is tomorrow night. Here, 3:30. The Santa visit from the fire truck is coming Saturday, December 20th. I believe there's a calendar somewhere that tells them where they're gonna stop. They start fire hydrants. They'll be giving out canes and gingerbread ornament gifts. Indoor soccer for K5, Saturdays, January 10th through February. They have 50 kids already registered for that. Indoor soccer ages 6 through 8, or grades 6 through 8. Fridays, January 9th through March 6th. Fortunately, right now, there's only four kids registered for that. There's a buddy ball program starting, which I'm glad to see, which will be Saturdays, January 10th through February 14th.
They can accept 20 kids. They currently have they're opening registration outside communities. We've heard about the New Jersey Devils game, which is coming up. There are 3 tickets still available, and the cost is
$50, which includes the bus trip.
Tiny Tots Soccer is another program starting up, and that's for ages 2 to 4. Flag football coming in March. Registration will be open in January. And that's all I have with the Spotswood Rec Report. Okay, I'm planning on attending the Central Jersey Water Commission meetings in January. They start. I believe there's 9 for the year. So hopefully we get something done with flood control by going to these meetings. Yes, I see the applause over there on the outside. And let's see, grants. We'll go into that in a second. Well, I was down at the League of Municipalities, because every taxpayer likes to know how their money is being spent. I attended a course on hackers don't take holidays and how to identify the gaps in cybersecurity, things you should be looking for. That sometimes slip by. I also attended a course in the state of water, New Jersey, which I think is going to help me with this water program that I'll be attending as well. I attended another one on municipal infrastructure, asset management, planning, and budgeting, which is what we need to do looking into the future. Instead of 1 or 2 or 3, we got to go 5, 10 years ahead because it's just getting more and more expensive. I also attended, the last day was Thursday, I attended a meeting on technology plans, budget procurement, and staffing demystified. A lot of this was basically due to AI, which I'm not a real big fan of, but it's coming on real fast and we have to learn how to work with it. Tells you how to use it toward budget procurement and staffing, helping with staffing. I also walked the floor while I was down there searching for new grant writers. I talked to 2 of them. They're going to be getting in touch with the mayor and the business administrator. They'll come in for an appointment because we don't do that by RFQ. They have to come in and tell us what they're going to do for us. Because I do feel we need a better grant writer. Because the grants we get, I just don't think are sufficient for the town's needs. And let's see, anything else? Rack, water, Oprah, going to January. That's it for me. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Enjoy your holidays, enjoy one you celebrate.
Thank you, Councilman Sealy. Mayor? Thank you, Council President. I had the privilege of representing the borough yesterday afternoon at the wake service for Josephine Tramatula. And thank you for having a moment of silence for Josephine, her many years of service at the senior center. She will be missed, and we offer our condolences to all her friends and family. As Councilman Sealy said, the rec department's been busy. We go all the way back to Turkey Trot, which was a cool event to see everybody out the morning of Thanksgiving, flowing through the various sports programs that he spoke of. And of course, the tree lighting. Thank you to the rec department and all the leadership over there for hosting a pretty great event. Council President made a request the other day, asking me why can't the tree be lit all day, every day between now and Christmas? And I haven't gotten to it, but I didn't forget. So I will pass that along, and hopefully tomorrow the tree will be on all day, every day. Our borough attorney in a couple of moments is going to speak about the fraud matter that we presented to the public. So I'm sure you're going to have questions about that as well, and we'll take those in the public comment portion. I know Ken Cruz, Steve, guys from the newly constituted Spotswood VFW are here. Thank you for being here, guys. For those of you who have been asking me what's going to happen with the VFW, these gentlemen are welcome to speak to us about it if they care to under the public comment portion. But our hope is to sign a lease with these gentlemen under the same terms as the previous lease. And we'll get the VFW back up and running. They were kind enough to attend the tree lighting and represent their organization. So thank you for being here tonight. You're welcome to speak if you care to. And like everyone else, I hope you all have wonderful holidays, safe, happy, healthy, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will turn it over to the council president.
Thank you very much. Just a couple of quick announcements, a couple of repeat announcements. I just want to continue to pitch what the Spotswood Fire Department is doing. They're looking for new members to join. Full members can start at age 18 and junior members can join starting at age 16. There is no previous experience required and all training and equipment is paid for by the department. You also do not have to live in town to join. Visit their website to find out more information or begin the application process, spotswoodfire.org. They are also creating a new scholarship fund in memory of Spotswood Fire Department Second Lieutenant R.J. Oros. This scholarship is intended for students who are not seeking to attend a traditional 2 or 4-year school, but those looking to get into emergency services, the military, or trade schools. In order to fund the scholarship, the department is selling commemorative challenge coins for $20 each. Anyone looking to support the scholarship can purchase a coin from Chief Hager or reach out to them via email or social media. Want to say thank you to the DPW for all they did around town during the storm yesterday, Saturday night into Sunday. Want to say thank you to the Spotswood Police Department. They caught the Grinch around town, and a lot of the young kids around town had a great time with that. Also, just want to let everybody know that they are still doing their toy drive, which will go until this upcoming Thursday. If you want to drop off anything, you can do it right here at police headquarters with the dispatcher. And that's it for me. Thank you. Happy holidays. I'll turn it over to Melissa. You have a report?
I do, thank you. We are getting ready. I mentioned a couple of meetings ago that there is a new public meeting notice requirement. It completely goes into effect on March 1st of 2026, but we will be preparing our website for this. It will be that all of your public notices, starting on March 1st, will no longer be in your local newspapers. All of your ordinances or anything pertaining to meetings, if there's a special meeting or any kind of update, will only be on our website. We will have a new tab there for all of your public notices. Beginning on March 1st, twice a month, we do have to publish a template, just that with the link to a hyperlink for our website. So just a reminder that that is going to be coming up in the future, but we're going to be testing it out so that it is seamless once March 1st takes place. Aside from that, I want to personally invite each and every one of you to our reorganization meeting, which is January 5th at 7:30 p.m. It is one of my favorite meetings of the entire year. We just set the tone of so many parliamentary procedures. I personally love it, and I hope that you all can join us. Aside from that, I wish you all from the bottom of my heart the merriest of Christmases and happy Hanukkah and all those good things. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Larry, you want to?
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give members, obviously, of the governing body and also the public an update since the last council meeting back in mid-November as to what's going on with the misappropriation that occurred back in October. So I think I mentioned back in November that the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office was still actually had initiated an investigation, which is still ongoing. It has not been completed yet. I expect that they will complete it within the next several weeks. And certainly there may be some type of written report that's issued by the prosecutor's office as well. And if so, we'll certainly discuss that at a future meeting. I think I also mentioned at the November meeting that the Middlesex County Prosecutor was able to recover another $233,000 from the first wire that was left in that bank account. There's a process that has to be made in order for us to receive those funds back because they are considered forfeited funds. So under a forfeiture, the Middlesex County Prosecutor needs to file a motion with the Superior Court to have those funds redirected back to the municipality. My understanding is that has occurred, but I don't believe the court order has been entered yet. But once that happens, we'll be receiving a check for $233,000 from the prosecutor's office. And that would be in addition to the second wire, which was recovered in full within a few days of that wire being sent out. What else has occurred since the mid-November council meeting? There's been an investigation that was undertaken by our cybersecurity forensic consultants. That investigation has concluded. I've requested that they provide a written report of that investigation to me. I haven't received it as of yet, but certainly when I receive that, that will be subject to discussion. There's also an investigation that's being undertaken by BCB Bank, which is the borough's bank. I'm eager to see what their investigation concludes. I have not seen it yet, but we're going to push them to see when we can expect to receive that report. I mentioned at the November meeting, when I gave you a chronology of what happened, that one of the first things we did the next day is we contacted Senator Owen Henry, who represents this district. I also contacted Senator Patrick Dignan, who represents District 18, which is right next to us, but had been the borough attorney in this municipality for many years. And my reason for contacting them was to determine if there could be funding available for us to make up this deficit, which now exists with the Board of Education. I'm pleased to report that we had a follow-up meeting with Senator Henry just this past week, which was attended by the mayor, myself, the Board of Education President, Dan Lennon, and the superintendent. So our state legislator, Owen Henry, is keenly aware that we need to see if we can obtain some type of funding from the state, which my understanding is would be available, and it will be a bipartisan effort because Patrick Dignan, Senator Dignan, will also help us in this endeavor. There have been meetings between myself and the Board of Education, also involving council people and their administration and their attorney. So we have been working cooperatively with them to see where we're going to go with this. So again, I don't really have anything further that I can disclose at this point because the Middlesex County prosecutor has not concluded their investigation. But I think hopefully at the next meeting in January or towards the end of January, we should have more information to report. Certainly during the public portion, if there's any questions I can answer or any questions that the mayor can answer, I'm certainly willing to do that. So thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Larry. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to open to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Here. I'm Jennifer San Marco. I am at 14 Nicholas Court, and I am up here to talk about the money. I'm sorry, my heart's pounding. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I have background in banking, so I hope that I can get this across correctly. First question I have is insurance going to be covering any portion of this loss that we have?
We're hoping that it will. Yes, we have a general liability insurance, obviously, that covers the town, and we also have other cybersecurity policies as well. So
do you know how much would be covered? Because I know that there's different amounts for different things, so.
I may defer that to the administration, but I will tell you this. Obviously, we have insurance and the Board of Education has insurance.
Okay, so
they're separate carriers. So there are two sources of insurance for funding for this.
And does anybody know how much we're possibly insured for?
So we have different lines of coverage. Also, we're a member of the statewide JIF, Joint Insurance Fund. So we're in discussion with our risk manager and with statewide, because we're operating under the premise that as a member, the fund as a whole has to help us out in this scenario. I don't know what amounts, because the underwriters, from your time in banking, have a say in that. I will say that I'd like to maybe expand my answer, if that's okay with you.
Mhm.
Okay,
As long as it doesn't take from my time.
I won't take away your time. When we became notified of the crime that was committed against us and the board, our first priority was trying to recover as much as we could without notifying the bad guys that we were onto them. And with working cooperatively and with the help of our borough attorney, we were able to get back that 1.4 million within a day. And subsequently to 200,000. So that was first priority. Then the second thing we did was focus on have our systems been hacked, because this hack started on the Board of Ed side. So we engaged in a forensic examination with the help of outside professionals, and Mr. Cahill quarterbacked that effort. And we're happy to report we did not have a loss of any critical information. No personal identification information was disclosed. So that was kind of the second thing. And then we started looking at, okay, what can we do to make sure this never happens? So
That's a mess.
so maybe I'll hit some of the items on your list. So in an effort to ensure that, obviously we stopped any wires between us, the borough, and the Board of Education. The last 3 checks I've hand delivered to the board. Most recent one right to the superintendent. We also looked at our processes and procedures. We're trying to do some things on the technology side without getting out of my depth, because this is pretty, I'll get out of my depth pretty quickly. But I think Tim would tell you that we're doing things like multi-factor identification, authorization. We're doing some geofencing. We're going to try and make it as difficult as possible for these sophisticated cyber crooks to get us again. And then we did some other things internally, and now the 4th approver on all requisitions. So I see all purchase orders and requisitions. So, and then I guess the next focus after that was how do we make the Board of Ed whole? And that's what Mr. Sachs alluded to. We've had a series of meetings. We're talking to our insurance people. We got to get them their money back, right?
Perfect.
And so that's kind of what we've been working on. Those are the steps we've taken to address this issue to this point. Did I hit some of them on the list?
Some of them.
Okay, back to you then.
Is law enforcement gonna still pursue recovering any of the money, or is it just, they're still pursuing?
No, that's why they haven't concluded their investigation, and I would hope that they will continue to pursue it.
Do we need a Karen to yell at them to continue to pursue it? Because
No, they hear enough from me.
Okay, good. So we talked about the assistance, the state, it's at the state level now, the assistance that.
Well, the assistance that we spoke to with our legislators would be at the state level.
So are we going to have the state reviewing our controls after this? Are they gonna look into what safeguards that we're going to be implementing?
Well, I don't know if you're talking, will there be strings attached to whatever funding we can get? I can't speculate what that might be, but I will tell you, at least from our standpoint, and that's why we hired a cybersecurity forensics consultant. Obviously those measures have to be incorporated.
You hired them because of this, so they're already outside of what happened, so.
They're
completely
right,
within. Okay.
exactly.
Because I was gonna say whoever we had before. We don't need them anymore. Okay, so that is the top stuff. Now I wanna kind of talk about how this wasn't just a scam, it is a control failure. How did we allow a wire transfer to go out like this without multiple approvals? And without speaking to somebody face to face? What I mean by that is when I worked in banking, we would have somebody come in to do a $20,000 transfer. And we would ask them 1,000 questions, and we would have red flags, and we would stop wire transfers like that. A change in payment method is red flag number 1. I mean, that's the biggest red flag. Why was that not caught? That is such a huge question, and it's something that's really, are we asking that question? Are we getting to the bottom of how that happens?
Yeah, yes, we are getting to the bottom of how it happened. And I think when all these investigations are concluded, we'll have a better picture of all that.
And did we have only one person on this wire transfer approving it, or was there multiple people approving it?
There were two,
Two people approved it.
correct,
Okay, and it got through both of them.
correct.
Let me see. When the second request came in, why was that not also flagged as completely suspicious? It took the Board of Ed, from what I'm understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, it took the Board of Ed saying, hey, we haven't gotten a payment for that to become suspicious.
Well, okay, the Board of Ed, the fake Board of Ed, supposedly received a payment in middle of September. They didn't notify the municipality until after the second wire was received, that they never received the first wire.
So it took them almost, what, 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah.
So it took them almost 3 weeks. But like, I'm trying to figure out how we didn't have any kind of triggers for red flags. So that's really just me being frustrated with that whole procedure. Because any deviation from a normal payment is a red flag. I mean, any deviation from anything in statistics is a red flag. And in this, any deviation should have been a red flag. And that brings me to my next thing, is the bank. So every wire transfer is always treated as high risk. Every single one of them. It could be anything, unless you are a customer that literally comes in every day, like, these are my wire transfers for the day. If you just come in randomly, it is a high risk transaction. So now I know we have BCB. And that took a lot of my faith out of where we're banking right now. Why did the bank not stop this wire transfer? Why did the bank not flag this right away? 3.5, that's what it is, right? 3.5 million, the first one? I mean, that's a huge amount, and if we've never done it, the bank should have stopped it. And is there anything that we could do to go after the bank for not doing their analysis on that? For not doing their due diligence?
Well, to answer your first question, I don't know why they didn't stop it. That's a question certainly I would love to have an answer to at some point. And I'm not going to comment on whether there's going to be any liability with the bank. That's, certainly something down the road.
Okay, I'm glad that you at least said that. That's makes me feel a little better. So they haven't taken any responsibility as of yet?
I have not received any communication from the bank since we received, let me finish, since we received the 1.4 million back.
So my next thing is, are we reviewing whether this is the bank we want to be at? Because I can tell you right now, if this was any of the banks I ever worked for, this would not have happened. And I'm not gonna say what banks I worked for, but that should not have happened, ever. That's it on that one. Training and prevention, we've kind of, you talked about what we're doing. What training has, I'm so sorry, I have so much. Oh, good, we already went over all the training stuff that I had. Are you already said you're gonna up the approvals to 4 people have to approve? Is that what you said, or?
What I said was I'm currently now the 4th approver.
Okay,
So I look at all requisitions and purchase orders on the last
Okay.
signature. I can promise you that any transaction of size in the borough, I am looking at, and we'll see before it leaves. To go back a second on training, we're currently, every employee, myself included, is undergoing cyber training as part of our change in protocol. And coincidentally, every Board of Education employee is undergoing the same training.
so that pretty much covers a lot of that. I already talked about this. And you guys didn't give me any pushback, so I'm done. That's it. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
I hope it wasn't.
No, thank you.
Good job.
Julian Lewis, 107 Old State Road. Been a long time Spotswood resident, more than half my adult life. I'm gonna make mine quick. What I just listened to, amounted to a gross level of incompetence at minimum. My only question to everybody up here is why do the two individuals still have access to my tax money? And why are they still employed? That's all I have.
Yes,
Wait for an answer.
yep,
Wait for an answer.
wait for an answer.
I'll wait.
So our focus at first was trying to recover as much money as we could. And then we looked at our procedures to make sure we didn't undergo this sort of crime against us in the future. And then trying to make the Board of Ed whole is part of that. My lawyer's gonna tell me I can't really discuss personnel in public. But I will say I have no indication that there was any malicious intent or deliberate negligence on the part of our employees. I would say to each and every one of you and everyone at home that's listening, we all feel miserable about it. We know it was a gross mistake and we're sorry for that. When the investigations are concluded, if disciplinary action is called for, then we'll take it.
What I just wanna say is,
Wait,
the
yeah.
previous administration suspended a chief of police
Thank
and a captain with less incidents or evidence, if you wanna call it. What we have here is gross incompetence. Okay, you're not talking $50. If I'm gonna send one of you $50 on Zelle, I'm gonna pick up the phone and confirm, hey, Andrew, is this the correct phone number? There couldn't have been a phone call made like, hey, can I just confirm the routing number? What routing number? What are you talking about? So my question to everybody up here is, why did the two individuals that made this transfer still have access to making continual transfers of our tax money? I was a law enforcement for 28 years. I don't believe in coincidence. Okay, this whole thing was way too many coincidences involved. So what you have is either somebody is involved or it's incompetence. And the investigation will figure out what it is. But in the meantime, why do two people that are at minimum incompetent, completely incompetent? We're not talking $50, we're talking $4 million. Why are they still given access to my hard-earned tax money? That's what I want to know. Why are they not suspended, removed, taken off the payroll, whatever it is that they do?
Because we're not,
While the investigation continues, the chief of police was removed while the investigation continued.
and I would point out that the chief of police returned to duty. His lawsuit is ongoing. The charges against him were unfounded. And we're gonna end up paying for that decision. In the same way the captain was returned to duty. And we're gonna end up paying for that decision. So what I'm trying to do is wait till the facts are in, provide, as you know from your time in law enforcement, and I know from my 25 years of law enforcement, people are entitled to due process. When we reach a point that discipline is called for, then we'll take it.
You're talking about criminality. What I'm talking about is if this was the private sector and I was in charge of your account and I lost $4 million of your money, not only would I be removed immediately, I would be escorted out of the building by security in the private sector.
Yeah.
Right? We're not talking about finding somebody guilty. I'm confident nobody's involved outside of Bayonne Community Bank, because by the way, I was raised in Hudson County, came from Bayonne. I could have told you not to use that bank. But my point is, why do these two individuals that made this transfer still have access to making transfers? It's as simple as picking up a phone and saying, hey, did you request this money? What is the routing number? I just want to confirm. What are you talking about? This whole incident could have been avoided if it wasn't for gross incompetence. I want to know, I just want an answer, a straight up answer. Why are they still on our payroll and access to our money? It's very simple.
I appreciate the question, and I think I've answered. At the point that it appears obvious that discipline needs to be taken, then we'll take it. But we're not at that point. And there is
I'm not
no,
talking about discipline, Mayor, Mr. Mayor, I'm talking
There
about
is-
restriction of access at
there is
minimum.
no evidence that anyone on staff in the borough or in the board for that matter had any complicity in this.
I'm not saying complicity, I'm saying incompetence. Do you have confidence in that person handling your personal finances? Because I wouldn't,
If
I certainly wouldn't,
I appreciate what you're saying.
but you're not listening.
I am listening and I believe I answered
All
your
right,
question.
what action are we taking as a council?
Let me respond to that.
Please.
I can't take any action at this meeting, and because that would be a violation of
Right.
longstanding laws dealing with municipal employees, so I'm not, we cannot comment on any action that could be anticipated, any action that's been taken. That would be a violation of state laws. I understand.
Are you allowed to freeze their access? Not remove them from payroll, but freeze their access to our funds? Is that
First
something
of all,
we're allowed?
there are no wire transfers going out of this municipality.
And they never were.
Well, all right, but there are none,
Our first one got stolen.
there are none going out, all right, and there are safeguards that are now in place. All right, with respect to, as the mayor had indicated, so.
And I do want to correct the record. We have a long-standing practice predating this administration of wiring money with Middlesex County.
Yeah, that's.
Because that's how they require it. So that is still ongoing. When I said earlier, we're not doing wires anymore, I meant strictly between the borough and the Board of Ed.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm just saying, I have no confidence in the people handling my money, and I'm sure the rest of the residents in this town feel the same way.
Yep. Yep, that's true. Hello, John Schludzinski again, 140 Brooklyn Avenue. I had a question and then I'll give you a little bit of ancient history on wire. My question for Mr. Sachs, do we have the ability to determine, is this actor, the hacker, whoever it was, are they overseas or domestic? And is the bank they're using overseas or domestic?
Based upon hearsay, my understanding is that it was overseas actors. But again, I can't confirm that, but that's what I've been told, which would be constituted as hearsay.
But we obviously know which bank we sent the money to, so was the bank a domestic bank or?
Both banks were domestic banks.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
In fact, the second bank for the second wire was a bank in South Jersey, a legitimate bank in South Jersey. But the first bank, I believe, was in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, but they were both domestic banks.
Thank you. All right, so now just to kind of lighten the mood on this a little bit, when my wife heard I was coming here, she's like, God, don't talk, right? So, for those who don't know my wife, she's one of the descendants of a founding Spotswood family, going back 100 and some odd years. And she worked in the borough, and her aunt, Jean Gretsch, was the borough employee for many years who was responsible for sending out wires. And my wife said, geez, I don't know how the professionals, and I'm looking at the professional finance people, were not able to catch this because her aunt used to agonize for days over sending out a wire. And her aunt used to make my wife hand deliver the tax bills to all the relatives in town, of which were there many relatives in town, to save on postage. So as you're investigating and as you are trying to recover for the borough, the good borough citizens, taxpayers' money, I want you to remember Jean Gretsch saving postage for the borough as a borough employee. And I want you to fight tooth and nail to make sure this doesn't happen again, and fight tooth and nail to recover from the SOBs that did this to us. And I think that's what everybody else as taxpayers would want the same. So I urge you, leave no stone unturned. Do your jobs. Get it done for us. Thank you.
Those are Rivera.
Can you tell me, in August, what was the procedure for doing a wire transfer?
Step by step.
Yes.
Let the VA answer.
Sure, I'll answer. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you.
Good. It's a very simple procedure. We set up a wire transfer with the school, just like we do for everybody else. They sent us the wire information. We confirmed it. We established an account online
How do you confirm it?
with the information that they sent us.
Through the,
We had to
through the
confirm.
email?
We started the email process before the hack. Before the hack. Okay, to make it easier for the school to get their money by the statutory date of the 10th of the month. That was the only intent of the time. So like other ACH withdrawals that the borough does, okay, 3.5 million, okay, not uncommon. I will tell you that in Milltown, just last Monday, we paid a $3.5 million note that rolled over via wire transfer through the bank at Milltown, along with half a dozen others that are long established. And we were, our intent in Spotswood was to streamline the process to the Board of Ed, period, so they got their money. Because every day, every month since we've been here, we'd have an ongoing conversation of when are they gonna get their check? When are they gonna get their check? And we were trying
Just
to,
looking for the procedure.
and the procedure was exactly that. We set up a wire transfer to do it through the bank.
So an email comes in with the number
We asked for it. We asked for that data from the school
and you pop it in and.
to the bank, yes, we established a wire transfer. This happened before the breach, correct?
In August, so if.
Yeah,
I
actually,
want
before August,
If
actually,
if I'm a supplier, whatever,
correct,
and I want you to set up a wire transfer for me,
correct.
I send you an email, say, here's my wire number.
You send me your banking information,
Right.
yes, ma'am.
And you take that number and you pop it into your machine. And is there any part of that procedure which requires a phone call?
No,
Or everything is done by email?
yes,
So there is no phone call in there.
there was no phone call in there, yes. That's what you're looking for? No, there was no phone call in there.
Is there a phone call now?
We don't do wire to the school. The mayor
I'm
is
not talking to the school, I'm just talking about wire transfers in general.
we do not call.
Wire transfer, I am a supplier.
So we do not call Middlesex County when they get their taxes on a quarterly basis and make sure it's them.
Okay,
Yeah.
again, you're going to set up a new wire transfer for me and I send you an email saying, here's my banking information. The procedure now, does that include a phone call?
Yes,
In that hypothetical that you present, a new wire,
Correct,
yes, we would now make a phone call.
thank you. Okay, and as to what this gentleman said, just so you all know, a couple of years ago, we suspended a borough clerk for making a mistake. There was no criminality involved. It was a mistake, but a big one.
Yeah.
And she was suspended during the investigation.
And forced to retire.
I used to run a cash office. I worked retail, $50 million store. And I would suspend cashiers if they were $5 under. And that suspension would come, money off, their hands off the money until the investigation was done. Does not mean that we're accusing them of doing something malicious. But they need to be separated so a proper investigation can be done as to what exactly happened. Because while we all want to believe that there was nothing malicious done, because we do enjoy everybody here, you don't know. You don't know until the investigation is done by the people who are doing that, the prosecutor's office, the FBI. So yeah, I'm with this guy. The people involved in that transfer should have been suspended. They should not have been allowed to do anything else, removed from the situation, so a proper investigation can be done. For them, there will always be a cloud over them.
Yep.
Regardless if you give me a report from somebody, there will always be a cloud over their name because they were there while the investigation was being done. I mean, they could have possibly manipulated the evidence.
So I would like to speak to that. So the evidence was preserved immediately. The outside consultants, lawyers and others that have come in, had access to all of that on both sides, Board of Ed side and the borough side. Neither the CFO nor the BA had the ability to go in and change, delete, or manipulate that data. So on that front, we're in good shape. But I understand what you're saying. And I hear the sentiment. I understand.
That's all.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you.
I'm curious as to why we changed our procedure in the first place. For years, we have walked that check across the lawn, across the street, whatever it is. What prompted us to change the protocol?
Sure. So starting back in October of 24,
Okay,
which is before we
right.
came into office.
Yep.
There was a start of a dialogue between the Board of Ed and the borough. As the BA mentioned, the Board of Ed was getting audit comments on their side. When we went to one meeting a month
Yeah.
on the council, which happened, I don't know, 2 years,
A
couple of years ago.
We go back to, but that's
It-
okay.
I think it was 2 years ago. It started to become problematic because of the timing. They were getting the check after the cutoff. So we started a dialogue back in October of 24 between us and the board. Maybe we should do a wire transfer. When we came into office, that conversation continued. And ultimately, we made the decision to go forward. That's why we changed it, in an effort to get their money to them sooner. So they wouldn't incur the comments that they were getting from the auditor. Do I wish we hadn't done that? Of course I do now.
Well, hindsight is 20/20, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't feel more miserable about this. I know we let you down, all of you. I hear it from a lot of people. I understand that. At the point there's a decision to be made relative to any employee, we'll make it. You can rest assured. I understand the commentary about suspending people. That wasn't something we chose to do at this point.
Somebody needs to be held accountable.
Well, ultimately, I'm accountable.
Okay.
It happened on my watch, right?
Yes, but you didn't push the button.
No, I
Okay.
didn't push the button.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Council members, hi, my name is Ken Cruz, the President Commander of BFW 4589. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for your support. Special mention here to Rich O'Brien and Fred Carr. Thank you for your help the last few months in trying to make this happen. I'm pretty much here, literally, I say 5 sentences or less. If I can make my point and go at that time, then I'm wasting my time. Thank you. I appreciate your support and future endeavors. Please reach out to me should anything goes on in this town, which you need the VFW help. As what you had mentioned, some of your events coming up in the future, which was written down. I hope to attend those as well. To the borough, to the citizens, thank you for supporting us. We're an open book. If you guys ever want to reach out to us, veterans, bring your friends over and give us that support that we need. We will get where we want to get in due time. All I ask is patience. Patience. We're patient, we're gonna get there. Again, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Josh, go see him.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
HB4
Edward J. Smith, 395 Old State Road, returning. I want to make comment that many of the council members made about the fantastic job that Matt O'Brien and the Department of Public Works did with this snowstorm. Even the side streets are beautiful, so, and that's hopefully takes the place of some of the heavy issues we were just talking about. Okay, thank you. And I want to wish you all and your families a very happy new year, including those in the audience.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Nothing changed. Colleen Ron from down the road. I saw maybe. Oh, Councilman Sealy just left. He's right here.
Crane.
Oh, it's fine. I saw somebody saying something about they needed help with the American Legion with the plowing. Can I ask why we're not plowing that property since it's a borough property that's leased? Just checking.
Sorry.
I'm gonna defer to Ed.
Okay, so I'll wait for you to come back.
No, to your point, Colleen, you're right.
Yeah.
It's borough property, we lease it. I don't know the arrangement between us and the Legion, but I know he knows, so let's circle back to him.
Yeah, that's fine. I had spoken to you, Mayor, a month ago. And we talked about the DCA and the part-time retirement
Yep.
issue. Do we have any word on that?
For the benefit of the other folks in the audience, Colleen came in and brought up the issue of the defined contribution retirement program and whether or not some of our employees were eligible for that and not enrolled. Which was something I didn't know about before we took office. So I know the BA and the CFO were looking into it. I haven't heard anything about, an update.
Right, because from when I looked into it, because this was brought up during the Palmer administration, and of course, as we all know, it goes in one ear and out the other, because she was too busy making sure that the police department was all getting canned. This went back to a 2008 law, so we're almost 18 years into this of back retirement. And this happened, I don't remember, it was either Bridgewater or Boundbrook. And I went back and I looked at, there was actually a case, they were actually sued by the state. And not only did they have to pay their end of it all the way back, they had to pay the employees' end all the way back. So this is kind of like, I brought it up at the last administration, I'm gonna bring it up again. I'm gonna keep bringing it up if somebody listens. I just, with everything else that's going on, like we had millions of dollars in lawsuits that haven't been settled yet. We just put out $401,000 for attorney's fees and pre-lawsuit crap and everything else. And we can't afford, you're talking millions of dollars going back on all of the part-time employees that made more than $5,000 a year.
So part of the issue is it's a lengthy legislative history statutory. I know the borough attorney was brought into the mix as well. I don't have an update for you right now, but it's not something that we are. It's not something we're brushing under the
Okay,
rug.
I just wanna make sure
Lack
that
of a better word.
everybody's still on the same page with this.
So Colin, yes, you are correct. So DCRP, we are obligated by statute to, because of a failure of us to provide you the opportunity to enroll. You can choose not to enroll.
Correct.
That's okay. But that you are not provided the opportunity, we're then statutorily obligated to provide both your contribution that you would have made, plus the contribution that the borough would have made to make it whole. So that's a dollar amount.
Right.
That dollar amount is what we're trying to figure out what it is. I'm trying to figure out what that cost is. And that's
So
a
everybody-
long process that goes back, not just to 2008, but for you instantly, how much did you make? How much would you have done? What would our share in the borough of Spotswood have been?
Correct.
And then to make that contribution to DCRP, plus of course, put it in the budget. We can't put it in the budget and figure out what that number is yet.
I
That's
understand.
of you and other employees, to include current employees and members of council.
And just so everybody's aware, this was originally brought up. I guess it was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, in an audit. The auditors found this. And it was brought up then, it was brought up the following year. And the only reason why I knew about it was because, and I'm gonna say it again, the big blabbermouth ex-mayor couldn't hold anything to herself. Because she had said to me, we're screwed, because this is gonna be millions of dollars that we don't have. So she knew about it, the old administration knew about it. Everybody here that was here at that time knew about it because I brought it up. multiple times. So I just want to stay on top of that because this is something, again, that's potentially gonna be a huge impact. And I don't know how much more this town can take. $4.8 million, billions of dollars in lawsuits. Let's not even discuss that. I mean, I can't even imagine what our 10% or 20% of those lawsuits is gonna cost us. And then on top of that, this, I mean, maybe people from the old administration need to be held accountable for their neglect. Because it can't fall on this mayor because he wasn't here. But anyway, Councilman Sealy, I was just gonna tell you something else.
As you have before, yes.
I brought this up when you were getting the cramp in your leg.
I'm sorry.
What is the responsibility of the town with respect to plowing the Legion? Has there been any arrangements? Cause I saw something on Facebook saying that the Legion needed to be plowed. Okay, and I just said this to the mayor, my concern is that that's Spotswood's property. So ultimately, if somebody slips and falls and cracks their head on the property, we're gonna be responsible, the Legion's gonna be responsible. So maybe we need to make it the responsibility of the town to take the 3 swipes that it would take to go through the parking lot and clear it.
Well, being off the record, being a member of the Legion, I certainly appreciate that. But we do currently contract someone to do it. Unfortunately, they're plowing it down. We were reaching out to someone else to fill the void.
Okay.
Because as you said, we're not looking for a lawsuit. either.
Right, and neither is the town, but my concern is that if the town took the responsibility over, and again, it's not a humongous piece of property. We pay for other businesses, garbage in town, I mean, the apartment buildings, we reimburse them for their garbage. Just take the 3 swipes and go through the VFW and the Legion, because the VFW, I believe, is our property also, correct? We lease that to them, so just take the 3 swipes through the developments or through the parking lot so that we don't have that issue. I mean, something to consider, I would think with the council here. I'm sure we don't want an 80-year-old veteran falling down and breaking a hip. I didn't say you were 80, I said 80 and 80. With that being said.
Just 1 second,
Sure.
was it ever the town's responsibility to, when did we start?
It's my recollection, 30 years I've been there, the town has never been responsible to do it.
Okay.
We've often had done it by ourselves, we had plenty of guys, the younger guys, that now live in North Carolina. That did it for us. So now we have a few left. We have a few left, and then this is a rare incident, it ain't gonna happen again, because we have to, obviously by town ordinance, maintain the sidewalk, we've got to present so many trips on that. And that was brought to my attention by the last administration. So we took care of it right away, but it won't happen again, but I couldn't even vote on it if they decided to do
No,
that.
no, I understand that. I was just trying to say, like, as far as, the responsibility of the town, it is our property, so since we make it, since we pay garbages for businesses that aren't our property, maybe we should just kind of pick up the cost of that in the VFW.
Well,
I can't imagine.
if I can respond,
Sure.
now it's refreshing my recollection because I think I may have prepared the lease for the Legion a number of years ago.
Yes, you did.
When I was back, when I was.
And there was a big old fight about it, but yes.
And I believe the snow removal and the maintenance is the responsibility of the tenant.
Okay, so with that being said, maybe we should reconsider and have an ordinance where we can shove the plow through there a couple of times so that we don't have veterans out there doing this on a property that's owned by the town. So just saying.
That would be a violation of the lease.
Okay, so we can always make amendments to leases, like we all know that we can do this. I'm just saying, it was on Facebook, so I figured I'd bring it up. But anyway, with that being said, so I'm a little confused with this whole wire transfer thing. So is it my understanding that the September wire transfer was the first wire transfer that we put through? For this? For the,
Yes,
okay. And then the second wire transfer went out in October. And
yes,
it was with the second wire transfer that we found out that there was a first wire transfer. That was taken.
Well, when the second wire transfer went out, we discovered that the first wire transfer was never received by the Board of Education.
Okay, so as I was listening, I heard that we had initially started this through an email chain. I don't know about any of you, but I'm sure as hell didn't send any of my routing information or my bank account information or my social security number or whatever the hell anybody wanted through an email chain. I mean, not for nothing, I could go into my husband's email right now, cause he signed into my account the other day, he never signed out of it, you know what I'm saying, like, that to me just seems like it's complete negligence on somebody's part, like, why are we sending that information through to anybody? I mean, that shouldn't be in an OPA request, it shouldn't be in an email chain, I mean, it shouldn't be in anything. That's something that anybody could get their hands on, I mean, long story short, I OPA requested something from Old Bridge years ago with respect to the Old Bridge Animal Shelter and ended up getting the security code to get into the narcotics cabinet. Because nobody checked the email. Should never have been sent that way. You don't have to worry about it getting caught if it's not sent that way. So I was a little concerned with that. I'm gonna harp on this other situation too, because I agree with the gentleman that was sitting here, with Diana, with the other people in the audience that were commenting. Somebody should have been suspended until this was taken care of. We suspended a chief of police, a lieutenant, and an officer. And a municipal clerk. I forgot about that. And a municipal clerk. The municipal clerk, because she sent an Oprah out without taking information off of it. And 3 officers, because basically Jackie had a bug up her butt about what happened to her husband. So we almost ruined the careers of 3 individuals, 3 cops, and yet $4.8 million went missing. And those individuals are still here. I'm not saying they're guilty, I'm not saying they're not guilty, but as the other people said, if you're looking for a non-conspiracy type situation, they should have been suspended immediately. Until such time that the situation was taken. Nobody's accusing anybody of anything, but I can tell you, being in accounting for 30 years, there is no way on God's green earth in the private sector that anybody would have sent a $4.8 million transfer over 2 months and not have A, immediately lost their job, and or B, been criminally investigated. I mean, I don't know why we're not doing that. And I understand what you were saying, Mayor. I get it. I completely understand. But we did a lot to make sure that those cops had no access to this building. They weren't even allowed in the parking lot of this building. I mean, they weren't allowed to speak to people. They were brought up on criminal charges, which is part of the $351,000 we're bringing out because the mayor had a bug up her butt. Now we have $4.8 million taken and everybody still has a job. And is still here.
So 4.8, we recovered, right, 1.6.
Saying Mayor, but in the
No,
long run,
well,
it doesn't matter. There was $4.8 million and we got lucky getting the last wire transfer back and getting the $233,000 back. We got lucky.
So we recovered that money. You mentioned the police officers. With a limited exception, every charge against those officers
But
was unfounded
right,
and
but
dismissed.
you were not here when the
No, I understand that.
investigated.
But you brought up that reference, so I'm linking the two. So,
But it's apples
We're-
and oranges, because nobody here is suspended.
well, why didn't I suspend anyone was the question, right? And you brought up examples of people that were suspended with pay and will ultimately, unfortunately, benefit from improper suspensions.
I don't know that they're benefiting from it, their reputations have all been ruined.
Well, I'm talking monetarily.
Yeah, but still,
When we end up paying.
that's a small price to pay for being humiliated for a year and a half.
I'm not minimizing
That were put out there.
what happened to them. We all know it's a travesty. But I'm not looking to repeat it, is what I'm saying.
Right, but here, there was no cause for them. That was the mayor and Victoria Flynn and Brandon Umba and John Skavanek all trying to cover Jackie's butt. And I think anybody that's been here through any of the council meetings over the last 3 years would agree with me when I say that was all because Jackie had a bug up her butt because Kevin got fired or resigned, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call whatever you want. But, and we all know what the situation was with that because again, she's got a bladder mouth and she can't shut up. So my whole thing is that if you're suspending somebody based on an investigation, that's fine. I don't think, like, there's legitimately this isn't an accusation. It's not like, oh, we think there's $4.8 million missing. We know there's $4.8 million missing. Yes, we got back some of it. I agree with you. Okay. But that was by the sheer luck of God that we got that money back. Okay, because it could have, what happens if nobody said anything? What happens if the Board of Education didn't say anything until December? Would November's payment have gone missing? Would December's payment have gone missing? When is too much? Is $100,000 too much? Is $4 million too much? Is $80 million too much? Like, when do we turn around and say, okay, somebody needs to be suspended pending the outcome of the investigation?
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Somebody pressed a button and $4.8 million went missing on a first wire transfer. If we were 75 wire transfers into this and it happened, I don't think anybody would be like, oh, some little kid in China is sitting at his mom's computer and kind of hacked into the system. Because you know that's what it is in the long run. So I don't think anybody, but the first wire transfer and the second wire transfer, and why wasn't this caught at the end of September when you reconciled? You should have reconciled and seen something. There should have been some kind of reconciliation. But again, the individuals that were involved in this, and I'm not saying anything about anybody in general, but what I'm saying is that those individuals should in fact be relieved of the situation pending the outcome. Because somebody needs to be held responsible some way or another. And at the end of the day, there's nothing there. We're $4.8 million. What are we now? $2.6 million that still hasn't been recovered?
It's 3.2.
Okay, 3.2. So even if we suspended those individuals, got the money back, we're not gonna be paying out $3.2 million in a lawsuit because somebody somewhere was gonna be responsible for.
And if I can just respond,
Sure.
just real quickly, all right? And first of all, let me indicate to everyone in the public that I am confident that the municipality will be made whole for every dollar that has been misappropriated. I agree with the mayor, there should never be a rush to judgment, because there was a rush to judgment on several lawsuits that I am now in the process of defending. Corbacero, Mayo, Sasso, others. They've already paid the price
Yes, we have.
for foolish decisions made by a prior administration to suspend a police chief, to suspend a captain, to suspend an officer. We already got hammered by Judge Rafano in Superior Court last year for a lot more money than I was ultimately able to compromise what we paid. So there should never be a rush to judgment.
I'm not rushing to judgment. All I'm saying is that in this particular case, with the case of Corbacero and Mayo and Sasso, there was just every time one of them didn't agree with the mayor, there was another IA filed. That IA goes up because it's the chief, it can't go to this, it's gotta go to the county. We all know how that played out. This is not the same situation. There's physically money missing this time. This is an, Chief Corbacero pissed me off today and looked at me funny and I'm gonna go downstairs and file an IA, or, oh, he talked to my, whatever the wrong way. Or, oh, he said this about my husband. That's not the case. Here we physically have $4.8 million that went missing. I'm not saying anybody, I would bet 10 to 1 that they had nothing to do with it. But the purpose of the whole point is that there is $4.8 million missing. And when we allow these people to continue doing what they're doing without there being a suspension and investigation before bringing them back and exonerating them, it makes for great grand conspiracy theories. I mean, the conspiracy theories already are staggering. And I mean, listen, I'm in for a good conspiracy, especially on Facebook and, when you're on the Spotswood page, like I'm all in. But like from an accounting perspective, this should have never been allowed to, they should have been told at the time, until the investigation is over with, for the safety and sake of the borough and the reputation of the borough, which unfortunately is in the gutter because of the last administration. It just makes it look bad all the way around. And this is nothing against you. It's nothing against anybody. I have the utmost respect for you, Rich. We sat down, we had a conversation. I haven't been here for 11 months because I didn't need to be. But I really think at this point that we need to reconsider the fact that we have individuals that pressed a button, didn't confirm the wire transfer, didn't even know that the first wire transfer was stolen, didn't do a reconciliation, didn't call and make sure they got it. And all of that alone just causes for a grand conspiracy. So I just think we need to rethink how this is being looked at. I understand your perspective, but think about it, how you've got 8,000 constituents in this town that are looking at it in a completely different light because, again, we have money. Right, it's their money. We have a mill that was turned into a warehouse that's been sitting vacant since Councilman Sealy, because mayor and this was all being taken over. We have a piece of property that we were supposed to develop on Main Street that was never developed. You know, I mean, there's all these other things going on. We have, you know, 3 officers that were suspended that were in the paper every other day on the news. Jackie making accusations, Vicky Flynn making accusations, Brandon Miller coming down here like he owned the joint. You know, and now we've got this situation. And yeah, it was probably a little kid sitting in China on his mom's computer in a SpongeBob underwear who just learned how to hack something. But, you know, at the end of. There's a visual. Well, let's be serious. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility and somebody has to be held accountable for what happened. So I just think it's a bad look all the way around. I think suspending people for no reason is a bad look. I also think not suspending people when there's obviously a humongous amount of money. You know, this isn't $10,000. This is a huge amount of money. It's gonna have a great impact on next year's budget when we have to, especially if we don't get the money back. And then what my other concern is, what strings comes with that money? Are we gonna have the state in here overlooking our shoulders every 3 minutes? Oh, you can't do that, or you can do this, or you can't do that. Like, let's face it, when you don't meet your budgetary requirements like you're supposed to, this happened in Jamesburg. Jamesburg has the state looking over their shoulder because they couldn't do their budget for the year. So I just think it's a bad look and I think we need to reassess that situation.
Thank
That's it. That's it, one thing.
Yep.
Sorry.
Restate your name.
Jennifer San Marco, 14 Nicholas Court. I know can I address you directly?
Sure.
Why wouldn't we suspend the people that approve this wire transfer? Like, what is the repercussion to not? Or to suspending them? I know that we've talked about the lawsuits, but I mean, people get suspended from work all the time. And you're getting suspended with pay, so where's the problem if there is a chance for you to, you know, be
No, I think-
reinstated, you're not losing
I
anything.
think you're misinterpreting what I said. I said that at this particular forum, at a council meeting, I cannot discuss a personnel issue.
Okay, no,
That's what I was talking.
I'm saying though, like, why would that be bad for us to do? Like, where's the? Yeah, what's the drawback? Thank you.
So a drawback could be, and I think we have a real life example here, so Larry, keep me out of trouble if you can. A previous administration suspended their BA in Spotswood. And their BA sued, and that case is ongoing. So,
But what are they suing for? If there is something going wrong, like when I was banking. If I were to give somebody $4,000 instead of $40 because I didn't see a decimal, I would be suspended. I'd actually probably be fired. But the first step would be suspension while they investigate it. And then I would be fired. Unless, you know, they could prove that the person was malicious and then they would go after the person. There's so many different things that can happen, but I would at first be suspended.
No, that's not how the public sector operates.
Right.
You're dealing with private sector, right? So it is there's a whole set of standards that need to be applied here. But I don't want to comment on any personnel issues at this council meeting or at any future council meeting. I think the mayor understands everyone's sentiment. I understand your sentiment, but I'm not gonna comment on it. I can't.
I just wanna understand the reasoning, if that makes sense, like, I don't even have any feeling towards necessarily suspending anybody, I just wanna know what's holding us back from it, and I understand the lawsuit, so I'm assuming that in the public sector, there's just a different standard.
I'm waiting, and I think what this council is looking for and what the mayor is, we want to see what these investigations indicate. All right, and we're still waiting for the results of them. All right, to answer the question that I think the burning question of a conspiracy or something intentional that occurred, I will tell you that I have reviewed all the emails. I may be the only person in this room who is privy to those emails, other than the Middlesex County prosecutor. And my indication is that there is no intent and there is no conspiracy.
I don't.
And by the way, if there had been, immediate action would be taken.
Right, I'm not worried about intent, malicious, any of that stuff, because like you said, I think that
Somebody just read something wrong, hit the button, and moved on. And like I said, in the private sector, I would be gone already. It would have been suspended and then fired. I just wanna understand in the public sector, that is something that can't be done. That is something that can be, people sued for that, like, that's not something that happens in private. So that's not something
Yeah, I mean, there have
really
been,
understand.
there have been prior lawsuits, and again, I don't wanna comment on that either. All right, this is real, I understand you're looking for me to give you an answer that I can't give you. If in fact it had been determined that there was something intentional, or something that smelled intentional, or something that smelled of a conspiracy, action would have been taken.
I mean,
It would have been taken immediately.
I think the whole thing smells that somebody can screw up with
Well,
4.8 million and we
Just-
can't do it.
I want you to understand, I want the public to understand that this is not something isolated to this municipality. It has happened in other municipalities. There are other scams that have occurred. I will tell you of something that one of my clients told me in my private practice in Franklin Township, where an actor, a bad actor, spoofed the Franklin Township planning department and sent out letters, or not letters, emails to applicants who had development applications in front of Franklin Township, requesting that money be wired to replenish your escrow account in Franklin Township. Okay? A lot of people fell for it, and a lot of money was paid to bad actors posing as Franklin Township. So it's not uncommon. It's happening a lot.
Okay, Bill, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a suggestion. I think one of the things that has bothered us, and I'm speaking for everybody, I think, is that since November, we've had no word from you letting us know what was going on. That causes imaginations to run wild. So I'm gonna suggest that maybe every 2 weeks, post something on your page, on your Together with Spotswood page, and let us know. Maybe not specifics, but just let us know things are being done. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I felt that the ball was dropped since November.
So I think we spent some time tonight,
Yes,
hopefully, explaining that a lot's been going on since
right, but
November.
you waited a month to tell us that. Tell us every 2 weeks, what's the big deal?
Well, I'm not gonna govern through social media,
Okay,
right?
so,
I don't think that's the proper venue for this type of,
okay, so make the
discussion,
public know
dialogue.
it's on
but
your page.
what I'm hearing you say is, could we provide an update on the town website?
Yes, that's what I'm proposing.
I'll talk to the council president and our borough attorney about that,
Okay,
okay?
I think.
I'll take that under
Go
advisement.
to smooth some ruffled
But
feathers.
you and I both know, Diane, that even if we do that,
Yeah,
it's not gonna stop keyboard warriors from doing whatever they wanna do on social media.
Yep.
I don't read social media anymore, other than my own page.
okay,
I can tell you, 2 of my sons take great delight in telling me things that people are saying about me, and
okay,
that's been going on since January 1st. Lately, they seem to report that, man, they don't like what you're doing, Dad. Well, I'm trying, boys, to do the best job I can
I know,
and represent the town in the way that I think it should be represented. I feel miserable about this
I
situation.
know you do,
I'm sorry it happened.
I can hear it in your
I
voice.
don't wish this on anyone. But I have to do what I think is right, and I'm gonna continue to do that. But I certainly haven't just been like dancing through the park while all this has been going on. There's been a lot of steps taken, and we talked about some of them tonight. And I certainly understand the sentiment that
This has
you all
been a
expressed.
tough year for you and for this borough. And I think the next year coming is gonna be equally as tough.
I agree with you.
Okay.
And thank you for saying it. I went into this with my eyes open. You know why I did it?
Yeah, I
Did
do,
it to help the town.
I do.
I'm sorry that people feel like maybe I haven't done well enough yet, but I'm gonna keep plugging away at it.
Okay,
And I'll take your idea under advisement.
okay, that's all I ask.
My fault. Joe Schwartz, 344 Crescent Avenue. I just want to let everybody in here also know, because Diane just brought something up, that the Board of Education employees, municipal employees, I don't know who. We've all been asked to do cybersecurity training online with videos so that none of us are involved in this anymore. Representing the Education Association here, we don't think that we should be responsible for our own self-training for something as relevant as this. So if there could be some in-person training provided on PD, in-service, something, something joint with whatever our cybersecurity company is, those guys are, we would probably rather prefer in-person training as well as just watching videos on a computer.
I think it's a good idea, and if you're, I don't know if you or representatives from association will be in attendance tomorrow night, I would definitely bring it up to the board as an idea. We would certainly cooperate or be a part of it from the borough side. Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
And council president? I
Yes.
think the council member and I that I'm looking at really need to use the restrooms. So we take a 5-minute recess.
Oh, I'm
out
of here. Yeah.
What's that, Tim? Is that okay?
No. When you come back, I will be first.
Is that okay? Sure, we can take a recess.
I'll see you Sunday.
We promise I'm coming back, okay?
I gotta call Joe and.
Bars over there, so stay away from that.
I know. Good job. Yeah, he's doing full. Mark runs everything for me. Yes.
And one place bed.
Yeah. They talk to your father. Yes, they do. Yeah. They send in some of the notes. They're always doing stuff, yeah. Yeah. Great job. Yes.
That is, yeah, Sean Fix.
Hey, Bob, what's up?
I'm Tom Fix. I'm sitting here.
That's, on the phone, he answered the phone. Yeah. We don't go around. But do that, right? The only thing is like, if it's, a certain time in the afternoon, maybe he'll be napping. If you try like in the morning, he's not napping. Especially during the week, the 8th there, so he doesn't get a nap, and she's waiting for the lady here, because she'll be, doing laundry or she'll make a salad, whatever. Yeah, so feel free to do that. Yeah, he would enjoy this. Absolutely. That genie, I've been here all my life. Okay, so I saw her Sunday, she's doing okay, so coupled her, driveway. And she's all right. And he's the same. Nothing changes, right? Yeah, nothing changes. He's like way too kindly. And, that like when she passed, that was going to be traumatic for him. He won't be able to like adapt too easily. It's going to be hard for him. But she's mostly blind in one eye. She can't really see, so she doesn't drive. So she has an aide that comes and takes her off to the bank and stuff. Yeah, so she's doing all right. She's like hanging in it. She's very smart. I saw her at the bank a couple of weeks ago. That's pretty good. Yeah, exactly. So she's doing all right. Exactly. All right, man. Enjoy it. Yes, exactly. Okay. I will say, I'll keep it straight. Thanks for letting me know. And right up. Good job.
Like fire. But there is feedback.
How you feeling? Last time I saw you, you were getting poured into a car.
Yeah. I'll give you a pass.
I'm tired of this.
I had a meeting.
Yeah, you know, same old, same old.
Running.
You guys all right? Oh, Mr. Kid.
Well, he's technically.
But you're charged.
Now you're ready.
Keep going without. Yeah. You need it.
Stop. Go ahead. Okay, one question, no, two questions, a question and a comment. Was the auditor notified of this?
And when?
Immediately.
Okay, thank you, I just wanna make it, because that's something he's gonna be wanting and look at. My other question deals with myself personally. As most of you know, I'm a CPA. I do not take people's bank information by email. I may take it over the telephone. I may take it when they come in and they show me their bank book. Okay, the other thing, as far as tax returns, right? I don't send, if one of my clients called me and says, I'm looking to refinance, and I want you to send the last 2 years' tax return to XYZ mortgage company, I don't do that. I will mail it to them. They can give it to anybody they want in the street, they can give it to their next door neighbor, they can not shred it and throw it in the garbage, but it's on them. And just have to be careful about these things, because that has a lot of their private information. And I just don't do it, I says, I'll mail it to you. Or you can come pick it up and you can give it to anybody you want, but I don't want the liability. All right, as the attorney knows, right, of any wrongdoing. So who, and I think we need to make sure that that happens in, and I'm sure it probably does. But obviously, it just had to be more diligent about that, because we just can't have people's personal information floating around, Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Tim, anybody online? Okay, they're sleeping. Second.
All in favor?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.